You're watching Oilers Nation Everyday with Tyler Yaremchuk. Your one-stop shop for all things Oilers.
Sam O'Reilly's making the team. Raphael Lavoie might score 30. Podkolzin's playing in the top 6 this year. And the Oilers gave up on Jesse Puljujärvi too early. Let's get into it with the lead. Hat-trick for Puljujärvi.
I forgot that happened.
Penguins lose 7-3. But
No way.
Puljujärvi was buzzing.
I did not know that happened.
Makes you think.
Yeah, what are we doing here?
Also, Raphael Lavoie looking like 25-year-old Alex Ovechkin on the power play. Also makes you think.
That's actually a pretty sick goal. I mean, preseason or not, to smack that one in on any goal is pretty impressive. A good shot.
All right. The Oilers played in a preseason hockey game yesterday, and they're going to play in 2 more tonight. That'll be the topic of conversation today. How? Have you ever seen the Jay Onrait and Dan O'Toole bit?
Calgary, Edmonton, Calgary.
First up, you'll see Edmonton and Calgary in Calgary, and then it's Calgary, Edmonton in Edmonton. See stars like Connor McDavid in Edmonton, Calgary in Edmonton. And who's a good player on the Flames? Mackenzie Weegar. Sports Closet Studio, sportscloset.ca. Check them out online. Let's get to a couple of questions. Let's start the show with this.
All right.
Dirty guy. You guys going to start doing Oilers Nation every day? No. Danger Suede, ONE fantasy football update. Is anyone still alive in the survivor pool?
I don't know.
I saw a lot of people talking in there today saying they wanted to redo it.
I think
everybody might be out.
Someone messaged yesterday and was like, none of your friends know how to play this game. It's like, you think I have 75 friends?
None of your friends?
So, buddy,
I'm out. I can't even see anything anymore. It just booted me completely.
I don't know. I'll have a look. In our actual fantasy football for the office, I am 0-3.
I'm going to be 3-0, first place.
But my player got injured, and the season is not over.
To go back to the one actual question or the serious question, we got Dirty Gertie. Weird name. You guys going to start doing Oilers Nation every day? I think the plan is October 1, right? Yeah, October 1. So this is the last week. Oh my God, this is the last week of only 3 a week.
Oh no.
We're
back. No, we're back.
We're back. We are back. There's hockey.
We had a moment before the show today talking about how summer's over and it's done.
Do you think that's the week? Because is that a short week or not? It's National Truth and Reconciliation Day, but I don't know if that's a provincial holiday.
Well,
it's a federal.
Is it federal?
Government workers take it.
Well, then let's talk about it.
Well, I was going to say the 7th might be a good time too.
7th, I think 7th is when DFO Live is coming back. So that might be a natural spot to do it. All right, Dirty Gertie, to answer your question, I don't know.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned.
Also, it won't be every day. It's Monday to Friday, weekends towards the end of the year.
Yeah.
Special occasions.
You get pregame in every game day.
Pregame every day.
Garrett, I like this one here from Caleb. Now that Cassian is on Oilers staff, is he unbanned from the show? Actually, he's more banned from the show than he's ever been.
Yeah.
Except now it's banned from the other perspective.
Yeah,
they won't
he's banning us.
Yeah,
he's banning us.
Yeah. The Oilers, yeah. So anyways, that's my name's Gertej? I don't know how to pronounce that. Awesome for us, guys. All right. Sounds good. Thanks for tuning in. All right. The Oilers did play a preseason game last night, and they went out and got a victory, Liam.
Yeah.
There was some good. There was some bad. The Oilers gave up a goal on the first shot. I'm not blaming Ollie Rodrigue on that.
No.
He didn't see it, and it was actually a really nice deflection.
It was a pretty good tip. What was it, Gustafson? Anything like that?
Yeah. And then the Oilers would eventually get on the board when first round pick. And I'll be honest, because the trade happened kind of last minute, I haven't really given much thought to Sam O'Reilly, but like he is a first round pick and he scores a goal like this and you go, oh yeah, pretty skilled.
Yeah, it was a really nice shot to get it back onto his strong side and whip it right over. It was Eric Comrie. I mean, established NHL goalie, right? Like, really good goal. Not the speediest guy in the world. I feel like good goal. Don't get me wrong, but like if that was someone like Holloway, like you probably would have had that extra step on the guy. But the on the broadcast, Bob said he's like kind of the big thing in Penticton was they had no defenseman.
Yeah,
pass the puck. It was basically Max Warner and 4 other camp invites because Bo Akey got injured, didn't play. So kind of a reason why the offense didn't really get flowing in Penticton. But Sam O'Reilly, Cam Dineen was the one.
Cam Dineen had himself a game.
Good game.
Christopher Palmer, did he take Hunter's number? Yes.
Do you know there was something too which I thought was interesting, and take this for what it's worth. So Sam O'Reilly obviously was 72, and in the post-game interviews, he had a shirt on that said like Edmonton Oilers and had his number. Noah Philp did not have that number. And I know the different kind of players, but I wonder if that is, if you're looking to get a Sam O'Reilly shirt, 72 might be his number. Is my point.
Oh, like that'll be the number he actually
wears.
When
if he plays.
Probably too early for that.
Probably, but I just think it's interesting that like Philp Lavoie might have had one. I don't know.
You a World Junior guy, maybe?
Oh, yeah.
Should be in the mix, right? Should be in the mix.
Depends how things go in London, but it's London.
Yep.
Should be fine.
And that's actually probably something that works in his favor is the fact he's a London man and plays in the OHL. There's no Western Hockey League bias or whatever. All right. Couple other things that went down. Oilers would jump out to a 2-1 lead on the aforementioned Raphael Lavoie hammer of a goal. Again, like he is a natural goal scorer. He does it at the American League level. He did it in junior. And this is just one of those goals that not a lot of guys have the ability to score, the vision to just unleash it, the confidence as well, like all of it, right? Impressive goal from Raphael Lavoie. But if I'm being totally honest with you, goals like that are not going to get him on the roster. Like what you need to see from Raphael Lavoie, and people can scream and be like old-timey take or whatever, barbarian hockey take. Like he's got to be a good bottom six player for the Oilers this year. He's not going to play on the power play. He's not going to play in the top six. He needs to come out and show that he can be trusted at 5v5 and find ways to be effective at 5v5. That's what's going to get him on the Edmonton Oilers. So this goal is great, but the people being like, oh, he's a new player, but he's not a new player. Raphael Lavoie has always done stuff like that. The Oilers need to see a lot from Raphael Lavoie at 5-on-5. And if he does that in camp, then there's a conversation about him making this hockey team. It's still a long shot. I think best case scenario, if I'm being totally honest for Raphael Lavoie, is he's got himself into a conversation where he's undoubtedly the first call-up.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it, the way you ended it. That guys like him, Savoie, Gruby, Philp, they need to be the best player. When the NHL players aren't playing, they need to be the best players on the ice.
That should almost be the minimum. Like they should stick out in a game like that, which was basically an American Hockey League game.
Yeah. And, you know, when those NHL players are in the lineup, like tonight, I can't remember exactly who's where, but the NHL players are playing in one of the games. Those guys, like we just mentioned, need to show what they do at that lower part of the lineup. But one thing that will benefit those guys too when it comes to the Oilers lineup is the Oilers bottom six is kind of different, right? Like really the Oilers have a top 9 and a fourth line.
Yeah.
Like that third line is going to be offensive. So
Henrique and whoever.
Mark Brown, whoever it may be, like those guys can play. You get Savoie, Lavoie, whoever, Phil, whatever we're talking about. If they can show they have some offense and have that bit of grit to them, like you mentioned, then I think they'll be able to crack this roster. I do find it interesting, like the conversation around Lavoie is so, and I understand it, but like so dead in comparison to last season. Like last year, we were like, how is this guy not going to make the team? Then he didn't make the team. We were worried about waivers. And now here we are. It's like, it's going to go like that, but we almost have to brush it aside because it is kind of, it's not irrelevant, but it's not as impactful as it maybe could have been 5 years ago. We would have been slobbering over that yesterday.
Oh, yeah. Interesting choice of words.
Pause.
Yeah, pause, maybe. Some comments about Vasily Podkolzin in the chat. And we're going to, so BM had their whole wrap up on Oilersnation.com, which is why he's going to join the show in about 20 minutes. So we are going to get like really, really in depth with him. Podkolzin, he's got some Puljujarvi in him, I think. His skating style is very Bambi and loose, but it's effective. Like, though, if you want to play the OT winner, AB, I don't know where our clip starts. Does it start with his hit? Yeah, okay. So, like, again, good job here. Keeps a nice little gap, stays with his man. Boom. Hammers him, and then like look at the way he gets up ice here. Like when he starts moving his feet there, that's just long strides. That's not a guy who's like super quick, but it's an effective way to skate. Powerful, and he does a good job going down the middle of the ice. So I thought Podkolzin was fine. I thought
Ham Sandwich liked him too.
Ham Sandwich liked him so much and was so excited that he kept the caps lock on, and it makes the comment look funny. But Podkolzin was fine. Savoie didn't play a ton at 5v5, but like I thought he was fine. You could tell he's incredibly skilled. I thought Lavoie was fine. Like there was a lot in that game where I was like, that was fine, that was fine, that was fine. And maybe it's my pessimistic view or my viewpoint of like that's an American Hockey League game that we watched last night. But I'm not sitting there and listen, I'm a massive Noah Philp fan.
Mm-hmm.
I think he played great. I'm not sitting here saying he's taking Derek Ryan's job after what I watched in a preseason game. Like I'm not going to allow myself to get tricked into the same thing we do year after year. So listen, if Philp is good in 3 more preseason games, then I'll sit there and maybe be like, hey, by Christmas or January, maybe we see that guy in an Oilers jersey.
Yeah.
But he's not making the team at a camp. It'd be very, very hard to make the team at a camp. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think I'll get more excited about these guys as, you know, the games kind of get on here. Like tonight, the guys who are playing with the top unit power play. I think Knobloch said he wants to keep those guys together in all the games so they can have those reps. And, you know, Petrov's playing in that game. Well, isn't Lavoie or Podkolzin playing alongside Draisaitl?
Yeah.
But
You want to go through them right now?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Okay, we can take a look at tonight. Then we'll get to some other stuff.
That's home.
Lineup for the game that's happening at Rogers Place. Nuge, McDavid, Hyman. Cool. Podkolzin, Draisaitl, Lavoie. Again, like an interesting spot for both of them.
It's a chance for them to showcase what they can do with one of the best players in the league.
Yeah, it's an interesting spot. But again, like what the Oilers need from those guys is good bottom 6 play, not play next to Leon Draisaitl. But again, I like that they're giving him a bit of a look. I think it's cool. Philp with Petrov and Perry. Maybe that's a line in Bakersfield this year.
Well, I think one thing for me in this is they could have easily just thrown Perry on that second line instead of Lavoie with Petrov and Philp.
It's a decent point. 4th line, Clattenburg, Dalen Wakely, Seth Griffith. Okay. Ekholm and Bush. Cool. Hoffenmeyer and Kemp. Cool. Corcoran and Canuck Leipert. All right. Rodrigue and Unger probably going to split it. Knobloch said he wants, and this from Gregor, Knobloch wants the top power play unit together. No Stuart Skinner or Pickard yet for the Edmonton Oilers either. I would imagine that means Brochu and Day are going to be the goalies down in Calgary, which you have that lineup as well. Jeff Skinner with Henrique and Arvidsson. Cool. O'Reilly's going to play again with Savoie and Cagguila. Peterson with Hoffman and Derek Ryan. Jaden Gruby with James Steffen and Jackson Weatherby. Dermott with Brown. Dineen with Stetcher. Gleason with Warner. Again, like there's overreactions on every side of this thing. People were slagging on Josh Brown. Like, again,
really?
and like, we're 1 preseason game in for guys like that. We're 0 preseason games in. Like, everyone take a deep breath. I think, and, you know, Tyler Yaremchuk, I like the idea of that first line, talking about Skinner, Henrique, and Arvidsson. Sure, but again, I'll start reading into things. Game 1, game 2, even game 3, I probably won't read that much into. I guess that's happening tonight. Games 2 and 3. I'm not reading anything today. The second round, games 4, 5, and 6, I will slowly start to read into things. And then if the Oilers are still trying things in games 7 and 8, then I will sit there and go, okay, if they're still trying it in game 7 and 8, there might be something here. But
yeah,
again, I don't think they have plans on starting the season with Henrique, Skinner, and Arvidsson as a line.
No, I don't see that happening either.
I think Knobloch even said something about that the other day. He's like, let's not read into this.
Oh, he did? Okay, yeah. So, I'm not really too concerned about it. Like you said, like, I think when they start sending guys back to junior, creating a bit of a Bakersfield format, that's when we'll know. Like, I remember last year, people were talking about, you remember Alex Peters? Peter? I can't remember his name. Yeah, exactly.
No, I don't, Liam. No.
Some guy who like survived until the 6th, 7th preseason game. He's like basically a number. All that. What was the other guy a few years ago? He was like the veteran Esposito.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, should have given him a game.
I was gonna be like Perlini?
28. Yeah, Perlini.
Oh yeah, I forgot about him. Yeah, he was the last cut.
Yeah, he was the last guy. So we should have kept him up. I don't even know. I don't even know his first name. Phil?
Also, these veterans won't play. These guys.
Skinner, Nurse, Kulak, Connor Brown, Yaremchuk, Emberson. Emberson obviously played last night. Nurse banged up. Kulak. I mean, you know what you've got, right? You don't need Skinner taking reps. Like, the thing is, you put Skinner in, it's like we talk about how many regular season games he's going to play. It's like, well, you hope he can play at least 16 in the playoffs after that. You don't want to play him too much in preseason where it's like this guy's touching almost 80 games in the year. You know, so.
Who's TB22?
TB20.
Davin, Tyler is TB22 coming to Edmonton. I have a TV. I love TB22. I have his warm up hockey fights jersey. Great guy. Sad to see him go. Who is that?
Tyson Berry?
He didn't wear 22, did he?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, really? Oh.
TB12.
Oh.
You can't. That's way. You can't do
Who
that.
calls
Whoever did
Tyson
that,
Berry that?
I've never read that.
It's
That's insulting to Tom Brady.
I think it's the worst nickname ever for any athlete.
Just go an initial jersey number?
Yeah, like come on. He changed his number in Nashville to 42.
That's why I was confused.
No.
Tampa Bay 2022 Cup. Yeah, also he's a PTO in Calgary. All right, okay, whatever. There's a little bit of preseason talk. We'll get back into it in about 15 minutes, but we got a little bit of stuff to get to in the meantime, our usual run of show, because again, I'm not sitting here and spending an hour talking about that preseason game because nothing that interesting happened. Let's start with our weekend recap for our friends at Greta Arcade Bar Street Food. Always a good time at Greta, and I got to experience that firsthand, Liam, because on Saturday night, I had a great Saturday. Woke up, went golfing with a couple of buddies.
Okay.
Went golfing. Went to the Elks game. Hopped on a scooter from the Elks game.
The scooter.
I was riding Titanic style with my boy Connor.
Hips.
Hands on Connor's hips, and he steered me to Greta.
While filming.
Great. While filming. But it was actually a super easy way to get from Commonwealth to Greta. Went to Greta, got really, really dialed in. Also, the football game comes and goes. And sometimes they have 6 footballs in the machine. Sometimes they have 3. When there's 3, you can't set the highest score.
Yeah.
When there's 6, it's almost too many. It's the inflated ball era. You need 4 or 5. 4 or 5 is the right amount. Anyways, went to Greta, had a great time. Got really into the game where the clowns pop up and you have to throw the orange balls at them.
You can whip it at that one.
Dude, and me and my buddies, we were just going 2 at once trying to set the high score. And we kept getting the high scores like 590. We kept getting to like 560, 570, 580. So we didn't want to give up. Anyways, had a good night at Greta.
It was Greta's 5th birthday as well.
It was, yeah. So happy birthday to our friends over at Greta. Excited to partner with them again this season. But back to the Elks game. I can't tell if that was the Elks being really bad or Winnipeg being really good, but I'm choosing to believe the Elks didn't play all that well.
27-14. Didn't Winnipeg miss 2 field goals?
Yeah.
It was 10-10 going in the 4th. I was there too. It was good vibes and pretty much till the 4th quarter.
Yeah. But even up until then, like it wasn't a very it wasn't a very exciting football game. There was not a lot of first downs. It was a bit of a punt fest.
Running ball, they were running the ball.
Yeah, both sides just kind of seemed content with keeping it low scoring and close, which I think probably, if we're being honest, plays more towards Winnipeg and their good defense because they know they can lock it down in the 4th quarter, and I don't think the Elks are quite there. So yeah, anyways, disappointing result for the Elks. Disappointing result for my Elks futures ticket. That's not great, but regardless.
Do you know one thing exciting about the Elks? Not even this season, but next season. Is they're going to be a good team next year.
Yep.
You know what that means for the scheduling? Probably going to get more Friday, Saturday night games. Like yesterday was their 3rd Saturday night game in Edmonton. The first one was like May. The second one was the week before against Calgary, and the third one was this past weekend. So there was literally like nothing through June, July.
And we're getting Commonwealth renovations, right? I think.
Yeah, do you know, Eddie Steele made a good point on this. He praised the idea of it all, but you need to get closer. You got to figure out a way to be like on the sideline, basically, because you are so detached from the game. And it's fun. And like, I know they try and make it so you can like stand in the end zone. My parents were in the end zone on the weekend and they said it was really fun, but I don't know. You got to get more in there. Somewhere where you can yell at the offensive line.
It also just looks sad when the upper bowl is like not open.
Well, yeah, but there's nothing you can really do about that until again attendance ticks up. I thought it was fine.
Yeah, again, on a Sunday, and it was great crowd. I think Hamilton, BC when they played BC, and yeah, it was really good crowd. It seemed like a lot of my friends on my Instagram and stuff were at the game. I haven't seen that for a while, so that's good.
I hadn't been to a game in 2 years, 3 years, maybe. I don't know.
Riley has a comment. The Elks don't even need to be that good. People start showing up if they're mediocre to okay. You just want to see a fun game. Absolutely. That's all it is for me. Like if I know I'm going to go and it's going to be competitive and entertaining, I'm going to go. I wasn't going in the first half of the year because they were getting steamrolled.
But also, if that game was, let's just say, for example, that game was Sunday night at 5 p.m., would you have gone?
No.
There you go.
I'm going because it's on a Friday or Saturday.
It's a Saturday night. I agree with what he's saying. The Elks don't need to be good. They just need to give them a chance to get people in the stadium. I feel like all those other places, like maybe not Toronto, but like Hamilton, Saskatchewan, you could put them on a Wednesday at midnight and people would go. Maybe not Hamilton, I don't know, but Saskatchewan for sure.
McDavid and Draisaitl at the game. They were.
That's good. I actually thought it was really cool.
Yeah, I think it's nice to see them like out and supporting and whatever.
Yeah.
I think they left at halftime, but hey, whatever. They have stuff, dude. They're busy guys. And they didn't miss a great finish because the Elks lost. Weekend recap, NFL talk. Aaron, victory lap for Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold is good at football. The hot take doesn't seem so hot right now, does it?
No, it doesn't. How many yards is he up to now for the year? Like he's got to be up to like 700-800, right?
He's got touchdowns.
We're gonna
laughed at this one.
Yes, very good. No,
I'm not convinced still. I think, like, don't get me wrong. I think Donald is good start. What's the coach called? Kevin
O'Connell, yeah.
He's clearly an amazing coach.
Former Patriot.
You got Josh Dobbs to relevancy for like 6 weeks. Got him traded.
Yeah.
Got a pick for that guy. But I just think, so who've they played again? Houston, San Francisco. The Niners who are 1-2, by the way.
Yeah.
Houston who 2-1 unconvincingly. And then there was the week 1, I can't remember. But whoever it was, like he's done well. But I don't know.
I just think when you have a guy like JJ, all you got to do is team him open.
Yeah.
And you just get him the ball, let him run.
And that organization had a crap summer too. That one player obviously died. JJ McCartney isn't playing.
Addison got a DUI.
I think someone else.
And now he's hurt.
Too.
Yeah.
Hawkinson.
So they've done really well for where they're at. But ask me in like week 8.
We will.
Oh, I will.
4-3.
This weekend in the NFL was insane. I mean, just very unpredictable is my point. I thought the Browns would have their way with the Giants. That didn't happen. Colts beat the Bears. Vikings just beat, like, again, to say like the Vikings are going to beat the Texans, I wouldn't have been stunned by that.
34-7 is big.
It's crazy. Sure. Eagles Saints flies under 15-12.
That game was 7-6 in the fourth.
Like two teams, like the Saints were scoring at will for 2 weeks and then just ran into a brick wall.
Were getting the ball all the way down there.
I know.
Sirianni's drunk.
Sirianni's an idiot. Steelers, again, like if it was like, oh, they beat the Chargers, sure, beat them 20-10.
Yeah.
Like that was crazy. Broncos beat the shit out of the Bucks.
Yeah,
that's what killed every survivor pool that's remaining.
Yeah.
So
the NFL,
I made a parlay, lost every single one.
Which is just as hard, if not harder to do than getting them all right. So look at it that way. Again, Packers beat the Titans. I wouldn't have been like crazy, but to beat them 30-14. Panthers beat the Raiders. Wouldn't have been crazy. Andy Dalton back in the mix. Also, that's the danger. The danger in benching your first overall pick quarterback is Andy Dalton looks so much better than him.
Yeah.
I think you have your answer on Bryce Young, which is crazy because he's been in the league for a year and 2 games. But I think, I'm
amazed that teams don't just look at what Kansas City did with Patrick Mahomes. And
sit him for a
Josh
year.
Allen didn't play his first year, right?
Sit him for a year.
Drake May, baby.
Yeah, but like at least the Patriots tried with Jake May. They just got the wrong guy, like Jacoby Brissett, right? Like the Drake May. Oh, the Patriots played on Thursday, didn't they?
Yeah.
The NFL is so weird. I actually not even enjoying it at the moment. I just think it's so dull. Like even the Lions game was somewhat exciting, but I don't know. Maybe by like week 5 or 6 when everyone's actually got some reps under them and it's like
it seems sloppy.
It does seem sloppy because no one plays in the preseason.
Yeah.
So this is almost the preseason.
Yeah. So I wonder
the year of the kicker.
That changed. Like the kickers are the most exciting thing right now.
Ravens beat the Cowboys 28-25.
They almost blew it, and Lamar basically said Harbaugh's calling was horrible.
Yep.
I saw a video of Marlon Humphrey on their plane went Instagram live.
Oh yeah,
and Lamar was like, "What are you doing?
Yeah,
why would you do that?"
Yeah, like the Steelers. I think the Steelers are going to win that division. I know it's not too hard of a take at 3-0, but that defense is amazing. Justin Fields just isn't turning over the ball. He's doing well. I know Herbert got hurt, but that was mostly because he kept getting hit all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So Steelers sneaky. I mean, we can sit here and look at Cincinnati and the Ravens and being like, oh, they're going to make it, but like they've been crap. The Ravens almost blew it.
Rams beat the Niners. Cool. Chiefs beat the Falcons because of course they did. So the 3-0 teams that are remaining are the Chiefs, as I just said, 3-0. Seahawks 3-0 because they beat the Dolphins 24-3. So that Dolphins offense without Tua, yoicks. The other 3-0, Steelers are 3-0, Vikings are 3-0, and tonight the Buffalo Bills can improve to 3-0. So we'll talk about that a little bit later on as well. We'll get to a little bit more NFL talk on the other sports report to wrap up the show. One other thing that happened this weekend, or I guess Friday, I suppose, Vander Kane had his surgery. So it seems like everything went well. He posted the picture with the thumbs up and everything like that. Elliot Friedman reporting that it could be January or February by the time he's back. Again, this just goes back to my whole point of why I'm happy that Stan Bowman went about things the way he did and why I think it's ultimately smart to do it. Like, you could have sat there and said, let's hope Evander Kane's out for the year. Let's match Dylan Holloway. Let's keep Cody Ceci. You would have 2 more NHL players on your roster right now, but you'd be sitting there and you would be ultra screwed if Evander Kane came back. Okay. Instead, you're Stan Bowman. You go, okay, if I'm not going to match these 2 guys, let's go all the way. Let's not, whatever the saying is, you can't be half pregnant, right?
Yeah.
Let's go all the way. Let's trim this thing right down so we're cap compliant. You trade Ceci. You let both guys walk. You end up with Emberson. You end up with some draft picks from the St. Louis thing, and you get the extra pick because you gave yourself flexibility and could threaten to St. Louis that you were going to match. So you could do all of that, and now you have $900K in cap space. And now if Evander Kane comes out or comes back in January or February, you're not sitting there going, we have to trade Brett Kulak, even though we don't want to. We have to trade whoever it would end up being at that point, even though we don't want to. You can sit there, bring him back, have a full lineup, still be accruing cap space, and make a move at the deadline. If this ends up going poorly, or I shouldn't say poorly, if Kane's recovery doesn't go as quickly as maybe he's hoping or as the doctors think, then come the deadline, you've already accrued a ton of cap space. Original Pozar confirmed to me, if they just run with Kane on normal IR, they can afford like a $4 million cap hit at the deadline. And then if you put Kane on LTIR after that, you can get a $4 million cap hit and then get someone to replace Kane's money. Like, they've put themselves in a wonderful, wonderful spot for the deadline. And that's what that was all about for me. Like, I know people are worried about the blue line. I'm starting to go more to the mindset of I'm not all that concerned about it. I think we are forgetting how painfully average replacement level Cody Ceci is. Emberson can replace him.
Yeah.
Stetcher can replace him. You can get the same quality of minutes. And also, I know we love Vinny Desharnais. Vinny Desharnais is pretty close to replacement level as well. Like, I don't know. I'm not as down on the Oilers blue line as other people are. And you have a couple of draft picks you can play with now. So again, I'm fine with the way the blue line works. And the whole point of this is Kane had surgery, could be coming back in January or February. And if he does, you're cap compliant with him in the lineup. So I'm not worried.
Yeah. To be honest, never really been too concerned about it. I just know they're going to be aggressive at the deadline and go get their guy. And it is what it is. And to have $9 million to play with, like, damn, you could probably get like,
you get somebody to eat some money too.
3 players, You're like, look what they did with Adam Henrique last year. They got it retained,
chop it down
once, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and they got Sam Carrick,
and look, I know it's a different GM, but Stan Bowman has been in these situations before where he's gone out. And one thing I've liked about him during his time is these trades is he doesn't always need to go out and get the Oilers don't need like the biggest guy on the market, as helpful as it is. They can go out, get their second pairing defenseman, help them out a little bit there. It's awesome.
All right, we're going to get to the Star Mechanical guest line in just a second, but first we do have a Sherwood Ford Giant question that we didn't tackle earlier. Meant to lump this into the preseason talk, but whatever. Shout out to our friends at Sherwood Ford the Giant for the Giant question. Tired of dealership hassles? Sherwood Ford in Sherwood Park is all about convenience, upfront pricing, and their Giant Deal program. Get clear, no-nonsense pricing on new and used Fords online with all incentives included. Plus, enjoy the ease of mobile service, free pickup and delivery, and same-day or next-day service appointments. Sherwood Ford the Giant. Your Giant question is this, Liam. Which player are you most looking forward to watch play in the rest of the preseason?
I will say, well, Sam O'Reilly. I mean, first round pick. How could you not be excited?
How long do you think he sticks, though?
I think they'll let you keep him for a few weeks.
Like run him along.
Yeah,
probably is
like
smart.
6 or 7. I mean, at the end of the day, he's your first round pick. You want him to be around your organization, know what it's all about, and then when you do send him back, he's going to a good program in London. So I'll say him. And I'm curious about the blue line. Like, I just want to know who's going to, because really, like, we're talking about Emberson and Stetcher is kind of taking those spots, but like, I don't know. What if Josh Brown actually does do well and he becomes kind of just this dickhead on the blue line that no one likes to play against? Maybe that works.
I'm doubtful.
No, I'm not too doubtful. That's his role, right? That's who he is. Like if he can be a tough kind of guy to play against, and he's easy.
I want to know why he
defensively,
got
then
3
it'll be
years.
fine.
I kind of do too. Who are they bidding against? Is my question with him.
Great agent, whoever his agent is.
For me, I think I'm actually going to say Matt Savoie, but against NHL competition.
Yeah, I'm
to me, like
last night a little bit,
like
just his minutes.
I know
Like,
it's weird.
Ruby played like a second more than him.
Yeah,
so.
It is weird that they didn't play him a ton, but again, maybe just easing him into things a little bit. Again, you want to talk about Sam O'Reilly as like an exciting first round pick. Matt Savoie is way more exciting as a prospect. So if he can come show some flashes, like I'll be honest, I wouldn't mind seeing him get a game where he's next to Leon Draisaitl. I know they're trying to work him in as a centerman and stuff like that, but like throw him on the right side for a game next to Leon. Let's see if maybe there's something there, and not something there in the sense of we're doing it opening night, but like see if you can establish a little bit of a baseline there, get people excited. I think Savoie is my answer.
I wonder why do they want him as a center?
I don't get it, because there's no path to him being a center in the next 2 seasons.
No.
Down the middle, you have Connor, Leon, and Henrique.
Yeah.
Savoie's best path to being impactful at the NHL level is as a right winger.
And do you not think they have those? I don't know if they'll be a third line center, but they're definitely centermen like Ruby and Philp. Those kind of guys, like they're way more third line centerman material than Matthew Savoie. I'd rather just have him in the top 6.
Mulick, Jeff Skinner. For me, I'm excited to see Jeff Skinner play in the regular season. Yeah. I'm not excited to see him play against preseason lineups.
Question, I didn't think of like established energy.
No. Sergeant Battle says Noah Philp, which I can kind of get behind a little bit. Don't hate that. Riley, Emberson, so much riding on this guy. Connor said Emberson as well. Brian said Savoie or Emberson. Connor said Podzilla as well. No, he said Pods. Squishies for breakfast called them Podzilla, which is an interesting nickname development. I don't hate Podzilla.
I kind of like it.
Mulick. Bob says he's going to be a right wing at the NHL level, which is the confusion for me. Just staple him as a right winger in the American League, let him learn the game. I don't like that they want to move him around. So Savoie showed some creativeness and skill. I'd like to see him with Leon and Connor. Exactly. I want to see him on the wing with skill. Too small to be a center in the show. I kind of agree with that a little bit.
What does Bob know?
Yeah, what does Bob know? Squishy says we can use Podzilla free of charge.
Thank you.
When he scores 20 goals and we launch the Nation Gear Podzilla shirt, Squishy, you can have one for free. There's a good trade-off for the whole thing.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right, let's get out to the Star Mechanical guest line. It's Edmonton's #1 plumbing and heating company, and it's been that way for more than 20 years. You can check them out online at starmechanical.ca. Joining us to chat a little bit more about the preseason is our boy Baggedmilk. But before we do that, you are our resident Minnesota Vikings fan. And what is hilarious about this whole thing you did, BM, is that you were like, wanted to get more in the NFL this year.
Yep.
Said you were going to pick a team. You pick the Vikings, usually like, oh, they're not that good, but they have an exciting future. So it'll be fun to go along for the ride.
Yep.
And then they're instantly 3-0.
Yep. I don't want to take credit for it, but I will.
Should.
I think that they should really respect and appreciate the vibes that I've brought into the fan base.
I do like that your Instagram is like you sharing Justin Jefferson things and all that. Like you're full in. You never do anything halfway.
No. I watched it. I appreciate it. I enjoyed it. Doing the skull clap in my house. Just yelling
freaking out Frank.
Random people in the street.
Yeah.
I may or may not be looking for a Vikings jersey for Frank as well.
Oh, that would actually be really cute.
Yeah.
I would like to see
He'd
that.
be adorable. If I can get a twofer, because he needs a new Oilers jersey too. Right?
Yeah.
He'd be a very handsome young man.
Oilers talk. Mm-hmm. You handled the post-game duties over at Oilersnation.com yesterday.
Yes.
I know just how excited you were to cover the first preseason game of the year. But there were some, like we just had talked about in the Giant Question, there were some players in that game last night. What did you make of? Let's start with, I think Raphael Lavoie is an interesting kind of spot. And we talked about, like, the goal is unreal. Like,
ripped it.
Yeah, that awareness to sit there, rip that shot, have the confidence to do it. It's great. My point was, I don't care that he can do this. That's not going to help him make the Oilers. I need to see good play at 5v5. Did you see anything new from Raphael Lavoie last night, or is this just the same player we saw last year in camp?
No, I didn't see anything new. I do appreciate his willingness to shoot the puck. I'm doing this off the top of my head. He had 4 shots on net, I think. And I appreciate his willingness to use that shot. We saw it on the power play goal, ripped it. There's a lot to like there. At some point, I was hoping he was going to separate himself a little bit. Like this, he's not new in camp anymore.
No.
The other players I was watching was the defenders. You know, they had 4 guys who NHL experience at least a little bit playing last night, and Dermott, Emberson, Brown, and who's the forward? Carrick. So I actually thought that those guys played reasonably well, but at the same point, how do you evaluate it when the quality of competition is so low? They looked better than everyone else, and I thought they did a good job of limiting Winnipeg's chances, but they should do that when you're facing an AHL team. So it was a hard game to evaluate in the sense that Winnipeg had nobody playing. And the Oilers also had very few NHL vets. And the other guy that I was just flat out disappointed in was Mike Hoffman. Like I thought that at some point he would look like a guy who had scored 30 goals in the NHL, given that he's playing against minor leaguers, but he was extremely quiet. And I'm just like, I don't know. It's like at some point you got to think he's just a place filler to have your 6 veterans in the preseason, because he is not making this team.
No, he's not. One guy who did stand out, and partially because I think it's a little bit of not recency bias because it's one game, but like you watch Podkolzin do what he does on the OT winner, and it's like, whoa, he hits a guy hard behind the net, stays with the puck, darts up the ice. He's not like lightning fast, but he's powerful enough. And I like to use that word, Liam, to like get up into the rush and make a play. I think early, but like I think we might like Vasily Podkolzin. I feel like now that the expectations are kind of changed on him for where he is in his career, it's like, I don't know, there's an NHLer there, I think.
So what I wrote about Podkolzin last night was that his pressure on the forecheck was the thing I noticed the most. Which
is what they need Lavoie to do. They need Lavoie to play more like Podkolzin does.
He was in on the puck very quickly, and there's no hesitation when he's in on the forecheck. If he sees an opportunity to jump in on a defender, again, I know quality of competition, he's doing it. If he can do that consistently, he's going to free up pucks for his line mates. That's just the reality of what kind of player he looks like. So I'm curious to see how he plays throughout the preseason. And I was with you on, I'd like to see Savoie with a quality line mates. I'd love to see what he looks like along the wing. I don't understand this play him at center thing.
He's never going to be a center.
He's a winger. So let's just play him there. So, yeah, I mean, first preseason game last night. We got a split squad today. We'll see what happens today. I'll be back on the wrap-up. I'm very thrilled about writing it.
How are you handling the wrap-up? Are you only doing the Edmonton game, or are you only doing Edmonton versus Calgary in Edmonton, or are you also doing Calgary versus Edmonton in Calgary?
I'm probably just going to do an aggregate post for both. But the one I'm actually going to watch is the one in Edmonton, because there's going to be NHL players in it.
Yeah.
What I thought about yesterday as I was watching the preseason was that at this point of the preseason, I'm just cheering for clothes. Like, I like clothes better on one team than the clothes the other team is wearing. Other than that, I don't care.
Clothes?
Yeah,
clothes. Shirt color?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm cheering for their clothes. Like last night, the Oilers were not the Oilers, but I was still cheering for them because I appreciate the clothes they were wearing.
Well, of the 4 teams playing tonight, there's only one team with NHL players on it. It's the Edmonton Oilers in Edmonton.
Because the Flames are incapable.
They're so bad.
They're terrible.
So bad.
Mm-hmm.
Horrible.
TB42 is playing now.
Is there?
You know who that is?
Of course I do. How could I not? Yeah, he could be the answer. Well, and also, like, I was learning about this yesterday, and because I also wrote the GDB for yesterday's preseason game. It was Rule 15-4. You have to have 6 veterans that have played 30 games or more.
Was it 30? I thought it was 50.
In the lineup. So, who's Calgary and Ice? Tyson Barrie's in the mix. All right.
How is Drake, the Cagguila?
Oh, the rapper? Yeah, he hasn't had a good song out in a little while. I think that the
circadian rhythm's good.
I think that the new music he released
had a tough summer.
is a little bit better. Drake Cagguila, the most noticeable thing about Drake Cagguila in game 1 of the preseason was that he had an A on his sweater, and I just thought that was the funniest fucking thing ever. Because
someone
in
would
a
have shown
different
that
universe,
to you like 8 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, in a different universe, you go, oh man, Drake Cagguila really worked out coming out of North Dakota. But it's just somebody's got to wear it, I guess. So that was the most noticeable he was last night to me.
I will say, I always liked Drake Cagguila when he was. I mean,
sure,
it was hard not to like.
He scored a big goal against the Ducks in 2017.
He also got in a great fight in the Anaheim series in the playoffs.
Yeah,
he fought Andrew Cogliano. I think that was game 6. There were moments, but alternate universe where he's still with the Oilers.
There's 2 things. One, I do think that's one of the most disappointing trades I've ever witnessed as an Oilers fan.
Cagguila for Manning.
Why? What happened?
Yep.
That was just the crappy feeling all over. 2, I know he's been here for a year. It was kind of nice to see him back in an Oilers jersey in a way.
Yeah, good Oiler.
It fits him.
Like I'm not trying to pile on Drake Cagguila.
for
It's just
sure.
like in a different universe, like he would have been here the whole time and not traded for the guy who broke Connor McDavid's collarbone. You know, like it's a weird franchise to follow.
Andrew Rule is calling him DC8, which maybe we just buy into that. People were calling Tyson Barrie TB22, and I didn't know.
Yeah.
I was like, who is that?
Yeah,
And I was like, oh, it's Tyson Barrie.
we're
Okay.
really embracing the EK91. Really,
Oh yeah, EK91.
you know,
Can't stand it. It's like when one
TB12
calls Lauren Kyle LK1. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, I don't get it.
See, like I much rather follow the path of Podzilla. Like that's a nickname
Yes,
I can
that's
get
way
behind.
I like Podzilla. I
That's a
think he's
nickname we
nice.
can get behind. Like people, if you're listening to this, think of the merch. We can't sell merch with TB42 on it
Yeah.
for Flames Nation. We can't do it.
10.
Andrew, I called him DC8 because I can't be bothered to spell his name correctly. That's fair too. That's fair.
Yeah,
That's fair.
that's
Double
fair.
G.
Mm-hmm. To answer the short for giant question, is there anyone you're actually any amount excited to watch over the next week?
Not Savoie. Like,
Yeah.
ultimately, the Oilers traded a quality piece in McLeod to get him, and I want to see what he does. Like, I don't put much stock into the first half of the preseason until there's actually NHL players lining up. So we'll see how he goes as preseason kind of goes on. I'm also curious, and I wrote this last night too, is like, I wonder how much pressure he's putting on himself. Like he's coming back to his hometown.
Yeah.
He was traded for a legitimate NHLer in Ryan McLeod. A lot of people like McLeod. He's expected to be like the top prospect on our depth chart. Like I'm curious how much pressure he's putting on himself to be that guy right now when the Oilers don't need him to be that guy.
I will say one thing, as much as I don't like the whole he's a centerman, he's going to Bakersfield as a centerman. One good thing the Oilers did in terms of the perception of him is they came out pretty quick and said he's going to be in the American League.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's good that they didn't give, people like us, fans, all of it, the chance to start running with the idea he can make the team. Like if they would have came out and been like, we think he's an NHLer this season, like that feels like a mistake the Oilers of 10 years ago make.
Of course they did. Like, I mean,
Well, because there was no one, yes.
yeah, like Taylor Hall, you know, the Magnus Paajarvi, Svensson, that whole era, they had no veterans. There was no sending them back to the AHL.
I do like that they've tempered expectations a bit here with
As they should.
with Savoie. So
I
that
still
was
think,
smart.
by the way, bold prediction, he's still going to be up here for the final 20 games of the season. He's going to be productive.
Like Logan Stankoven in Dallas.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully. I think there's no reason to believe he won't do well in Bakersfield.
His 6 games in the American League last year were good.
And who knows? He could have Mike Hoffman as a line mate.
the Hoff.
I actually think just based on what I watched last night, I'd be more excited by him playing with Lavoie than.
Yeah.
And then we'll get the confusing bit of it's pronounced Savoie, not Savoie, and it's pronounced Lavoie, not Lavoie.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's your classic.
Visiting play-by-play announcers in the American League will have a time with that.
It's your French confusion.
Yeah.
Classic bit.
I always someone said that to me once when obviously Savoie played for the Crusaders. Not from Quebec. It's Savoie.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Yeah, we're good now. I think everything just went away for like,
My entire computer just went black and then it came back.
but we're
That's what we
back.
want.
But we're back.
That's
Cool.
throwback.
The roadcaster working? Can people hear us?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. So
Right.
we're back. Oh, Joel.
Yep,
Oh,
we're
the
good.
show's done. Did I just have a stroke from Maynard? Oh,
We're
we
good.
back. Okay, we're good.
My heart's started
Um,
racing. Jesus.
Waz reached out in the chat and said, ask BM about the Rogers Place beer prices. I believe $16 a beer.
So I asked Waz. Waz went to the game last night to take photos of the beer menu because every year I do this bit. Every year people get angry, and last night was no different. So you had the 24 ounces coming in at $16.
That's not terrible. I was expecting 18, so I'm okay.
Yeah, I you know what? Having traveled to a bunch of different arenas, including in our own country, like Vancouver and Toronto, like
It's all the same.
it's not bad.
Yeah.
You know, and then I think about Tyler when we were down in Florida spending $24 American on a tall boy. All of a sudden you go, you know what? We're not doing too bad. But if you look at the post on Instagram, it has got 1,100 likes on the post, which is fine, but it's got 1,200 shares.
Oh no.
People were big mad. about the prices, and people's ideas of how to get around them are very funny. We don't support that.
No,
Not here.
we support OEG.
That's right. But if you want some ideas on saving a couple of nickels if you're going to the game, maybe pop into the comment section.
One good thing, pre-drink.
You could do that with a cocktail.
Pre-drink a little bit.
Or enjoy water.
I do always laugh when people are like, oh my God, it's $25 for like a burger. And I'm always like, just eat before the game.
Yeah.
Just eat before you go.
I think, pizza
That's the
prices are fine. It's like $8 a slice, something like that. And it's is it $8?
Yeah.
The funny ones were
the
water
mass-
for $7 for a bottle of Aquafina. Like
Yeah.
there's some funny ones in here for sure.
But also, when you get a beer, you can ask them to give you a cup of water, and they'll give you a cup of tap water.
I'm also
workaround.
of the opinion that I'm with Tyler. Like most of my consumption for food and stuff is before I even get there.
Yeah.
Like again, if you're like, God, $25 and it's a garbage burger, there are like 8 decent restaurants around the arena. Just go there, and for
Pop on
$25, you'll get a good meal.
Yeah.
With a side.
Or just keep it tight and starve yourself.
Yep.
You know?
With the beers, yeah, I understand that like you want to have a brewski when you watch. Again, these, we're in no position where we ever feel the need to defend the Oilers.
No.
But like these are not bad compared to around the arena. And then maybe you just have 2 during the game. Then after you go to Greta. And
My favorite part though is the people in the comment section where just like, I want to complain about this, knowing that I'm still gonna buy them anyway.
Yeah.
Those are my people.
Yeah. I don't even drink that much of the games anymore. You would go and you're like spending all this money, right? And it's just like, yeah. Now I remember the game.
I did like
put any price next to that.
Yeah,
and I'm getting 2 beers.
I'm still buying beer.
yeah.
So like
I don't really.
I was more offended by the $15 Caesars, if I'm being honest. That I feel like that's a violation of me on a core level, but
Oh,
it's fine.
$19 for a wine. My old man is going to be pissed.
Yeah, he's not going to be happy about it.
Also, I will add, and I know there is like math behind it or whatever, or like actual science. $13.75 for a highball. For me, a rum and Coke or a Ryan Coke that you get at an event like that, it just tastes like Coke. And then if you're getting a double, it's $27 at that point.
Well, that's where I go like my double Caesars that I love.
Yeah,
them.
you love them.
I love them. But now,
And they don't hit me as good as a beer does. A 24-ounce beer is going to get you to where you need to be.
yeah, you get more, and also just the time period by which you can consume.
Yeah.
Like
the
if,
last 20-minute period.
if I got a double Caesar, I'm necking that baby. And then I
It's
need
done by the first TV timeout.
Yeah.
24-ounce beer, you're working on
Though
it.
I do get a little snack though, a little free salad bar that comes with my Caesar. It's always
That is
lovely.
true.
Little pickled bean.
That is
lean.
true.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Come
on.
Be a liquor guy at the games. No, you can't. You can't.
No,
Anyways,
it's just whatever.
It's training camp for us too, which is why we're working through all these things and, training camp for the fans.
Mhm.
Okay, we got 10 minutes left in the show. Do you want to stick around for the last 2 segments?
Sure.
We got a couple of things we need to get through. First, it is what's trending for our friends at Sherwood Power Sports and Marine. The leaves are falling. Makes me a little bit upset, but our friends at Sherwood Power Sports and Marine still got you covered. Maybe you're someone who's going to get out to the cabin a couple more times, get on a quad. Maybe you're a city boy like me. I just want an e-bike. I want an e-bike or an e-scooter, and I want to enjoy fall in the city by riding one of those bad boys along the trails. Sherwood Power Sports and Marine can hook you up. Here's what's trending around the world of sports. Let's start hockey. This was a touching moment by the Philadelphia Flyers. John Tortorella and the Flyers had Johnny Gaudreau's dad out on the ice with them.
Yeah.
For training camp today. He was out there collecting pucks. I just think this is cool because, going through what he went through, to have a morning, have an afternoon, have a day where maybe you're not thinking about it must be nice. Just on the ice, moving pucks around, being a guest. It's great.
Yeah, it's something a little different in their life, I guess, right now. I can't imagine things are easy for them. So, yeah, it's a nice touch from Torts.
Hockey's probably been a big part of his life forever now.
Get out
It's
there.
a great way to stay involved.
Good
Gold
stuff.
star to Torts.
Good stuff there. Outside of the NHL, the Raptors are retiring Vince Carter's number 15. I saw someone be like, he left the organization on bad terms. This isn't like the Oilers retiring Chris Pronger's 44. To me, there's BM, you would have been in prime sports viewing age when Vince
Fucking dare
Sanity
you.
was taking over. But he did make basketball relevant in the country for a good stretch of time.
And he was fun, man. I think of those first dunk contests that he went in where he hung off the elbow. He was fun to watch and he made the Raptors fun to watch. So it makes total sense to me. I would rock a Vince Carter jersey.
Yeah, that
I'd
actually
be
would
pumped
cool.
on it.
The dinosaur on it.
Of course.
It is a
has
cool
to.
throwback.
It's either that or a Damon Stoudemire. Those are my
One of
two
those,
options from
yeah.
that era.
I am a huge Raps guy, and I used to despise Vince Carter for a long time. because he even said when he was leaving that he wasn't trying. And then he went to the Nets and he was incredibly good. Enough time has passed. Time heals all.
Yep.
And if you think Andrew Wiggins, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, Jamal Murray, they're good at ball because of this guy.
Totally.
Yeah, he changed the game. Also, he was great in the movie Like Mike.
He was.
Thank you, Liam. You can check out Liam on Letterboxd for his movie reviews.
Liam got movies.
Maynard Nugent Spivey brings in a great point. The Oilers should retire number 44 because it always ends badly. That's also a decent idea.
There is something to be said about that. Who's the last 44? Was it Cassian?
Corey Potter.
Corey,
No, it's Cassian.
Yeah.
That ended in a bad contract. So yeah.
Yeah. Maybe something to think about.
Yep. Decent idea.
You know?
Sheldon Surrey was number 44.
He was.
Yeah, he was. Corey Potter.
I thought he was going
stepped
to
on
bring
the
it
gas
back too.
Yanni
If I thought it
Niederman?
was.
That's a good one.
Jason Demers.
Okay. Not all bad. Not all bad. We do like JD around here.
Rob Shrimp, Chris Pronger, Doug Lynch, Yanni Niederman.
It's not a great history.
Oh, idea.
Rob Shrimp still got time, I believe.
Last one we had. Paul Skeens is very good at baseball.
I'm so happy for him. and
I'm
Livy,
happy
Doug.
for him too. Him and Livy have it good. These numbers are insane. That's sicko stuff
I'm so
for
happy
a
them.
rookie major leaguer. 1.99 ERA, insane. How many strikeouts is that as well? Like
Strikeouts per 9, 11.5. So math I can't do.
that's again 11. That's insane. Paul Skeens is sick. There is a video of him going around right now of like his 4 pitches time lapsed, and it shows like his splitter, his cutter, his slider, and his fastball. When they're halfway to the batter, they're basically all still in the same spot, and then they do their thing. It's crazy. So
he was the first overall pick, right?
he was.
Now, here's a question. First over, the MLB draft is weird, right? Like, how often do first overall picks even pan out?
I've asked Tyler that exact same question.
It's not that often.
Because Bryce Harper was one,
Mhm.
and it wasn't
Carlos
Dansby-
Correa, George Springer,
Sand.
Dansby
he
Swanson,
was one,
Strasburg.
wasn't
Strasburg, but like
Bryce Harper.
he worked out, but he didn't. Like I don't know.
he?
It's not that.
It's
It's,
like
he
hit and
worked
miss,
out.
right?
yeah, it's pretty hit or miss. The top of baseball drafts is a bit of a crapshoot, but
Well, Kyler Murray was 5th overall.
someone explain. Is someone said explain this in hockey terms? This is if Macklin Celebrini scored 60 goals this year. Like I mean, 50 goals. Like Paul Skeens, one of the best pitchers in the National League already. It's crazy.
Those
but-
numbers are 55 goals. Like that's pretty
yeah, that's
damn
it.
good.
Like 1.99 ERA is sicko stuff. So that's sick. That's what's trending for our friends at Shores Power Sports and Marine. We will wrap it up now with our Bet365 other sports report. Check them out at Bet365. Download the app and use the promo code Oily Bonus to get in on a huge range of markets. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it is never ordinary at Bet365. It is the final week of the Major League Baseball season, which is exciting because there are actually playoff races in the sport. In the American League, you have Detroit and Kansas City. They're holding the final 2 wildcard spots right now. Detroit, as of July 1, had a 0.7% chance of making the playoffs.
Okay.
They now have a 62% chance of making the playoffs. Them and KC are tied for the final 2 spots. So they're holding spots. Minnesota is 1 game back of them. Seattle is 2 games back. There are 6 games to go in the regular season. It's going to be a fantastic finish in the AL. In the NL, the Braves are 2 back of both the Mets and the Diamondbacks with 6 to go. So they have their work cut out
We
for
play the
them.
Mets.
Really?
You're damn right.
So that gets very interesting. That's a 3-gamer.
It'll be
Huh.
Play it this time of year for baseball is electric. Playoff baseball is so much fun. We're heading into the best sporting time of the year. Playoff baseball is great.
The only time I watch baseball is playoffs.
Exactly.
So hopefully
Series
my
starts tomorrow.
Mariners sneak in. Although I think they blew it this weekend against the Astros.
Yeah.
Also, I got a real dose of learning the hardships of football betting yesterday. Bet365.
Welcome.
I had a couple where, like in the Vikings game, Jalen Naylor over 38.5 receiving yards. He would have hit it on a touchdown that got called back on whatever. Same with, I had Justin Jefferson anytime touchdown parlayed with 85 plus yards receiving. He had 81.
81.
So I got a tough lesson yesterday.
Mhm.
Tough lesson.
Tonight, 2 NFL games. Tonight is one of those nights you need multiple TVs because you got Edmonton, Calgary in Edmonton, Calgary, Edmonton, and Calgary. So you're going to want to keep tabs on both of those. And then Bills, Jags at 5:30, Commanders, Bengals at 6:15. So there's 2 NFL games tonight. Bills are 5-point favorites. Bengals are 7.5 point favorites.
Can I ask a question? To
Absolutely.
The audience,
Sure.
in the room on the television.
No.
Do you need any TVs for tonight? Because all these games might suck.
You think both Oilers preseason games are going to suck?
Yes.
Bills
yeah.
Jags will be good.
Yes.
Bills Jags
That
will be
is for
good.
sure. Bills Jags will not be good because the Jacksonville Jaguars are a terrible football team.
But the Bills always stink against them. They always lose to them.
Is that why the
So then we'll
line
have
is
two
currently
crap
minus
teams.
5.5?
Yeah.
And then you
Bet365's
have-
moved it. It's
like
5
I
now.
understand why these matchups were put on, and the NFL schedule makers. Shockingly, I do not blame them for things because games should work out. Like you have Washington versus Cincinnati. The headline is LSU quarterbacks. Jacksonville should be about 20 times better than they are this season, and this should be like technically a huge game in the AFC playoff picture early in the season. But the Jacksonville, I'd be shocked if they won 5 games. Terrible. I'm
If they
gonna
lose this game, their
I'm gonna always
season's
sit
over.
back of my eyelids tonight.
You can parlay on Bet365. Bills Bengals money line comes out to minus 120.
If I was going anywhere, I'd go Bills Bengals. Also, I could totally see Washington just like somehow winning this game, like 16-14.
So then you could do Bills money line Commanders to cover the 7.5 comes out to plus 168.
Commanders to cover. I don't actually hate
Is your
that
laptop touchscreen?
one. No, my phone is.
Oh, your phone's tucked in there.
I was being discreet. I
Ah.
picked it up during the ad.
Smart.
Fooled the audience.
Anyways, couple football games, some hockey, obviously, playoff baseball. It's going to be an electric week, and we have some Oilers hockey to talk about on the show.
I do have a sneak thing for everybody, and this was from friend of the nation, Towel Boy.
Okay.
Is that his name, Towel Boy?
Yep.
Towel Guy.
Towel family.
The Towel Boy.
The Towel Boy.
Yes.
So Peter N. Any of the Oilers games televised tonight? No, but you can watch the Oilers game on Oilers Plus, and there is a 2-month free trial period if you use the code Preseason 24. So you can watch it for free.
Or you probably watch it for free on the Flames website.
Yeah. That's,
Yep. Not the-
I
not
just
the
put
home
that.
one,
I
though.
just put that tweet in the chat, people.
I
And
think
has-
both their games on the website for free.
I don't know.
So
But
if you
what
wanna
I've
watch-
noticed is a lot of people, as I was cruising Twitter yesterday, like the Oilers Plus thing, they go, or just go to the other team's website. They're probably showing it for free or on YouTube.
Yeah, that's what I would do as well. But if you want to use Oilers Plus and see what it's actually like,
the game in
It is.
Calgary will be free on the Flames website. The one in Edmonton, you can use the code for 2 months of Oilers Plus.
there you go. You can watch McDavid, or you can watch.
You can watch McDavid play 4.5 minutes and then just like,
What's his name?
more importantly, come read the wrap up because I'm
Yeah, go
stuck
read
to
the
TV
wrap-up.
today. I don't want to watch this. Do this for me.
Read BM's wrap up.
Thank
You'll
you.
get what you need to get out of it. And then we'll be back on Wednesday to break the whole thing down. Cool?
One more thing, Tyler,
Cool.
if I may, before we wrap up, I just want to say, Waz has given me shit all week in our Nation HQ Fantasy Football League, and I stomped him. Not only did I stomp him, I made him all his chirps look even more ridiculous than they already were. So I want people to know that are watching this now how bad Waz is at fantasy football, not just this week, but as an aggregate of his work. He's very bad, and he should feel bad, especially for the chirps that I've been getting in DMs and texts over the last 7 days.
Waz Demption season not going the way our boy Matt
No.
thought it would. All right. That is a wrap on today's edition of the show. New episode of Real Life Quick One's going to drop later on this afternoon. And then bang, we are back at it Wednesday with Oilers Nation Everyday, where we will recap some hockey games. So enjoy that, everybody, and enjoy the hockey tonight, I guess, if that's what you're choosing to do. Anyways, see you then. Oil up.
Thank you for watching Oilers Nation Every Day. Hit the subscribe button to never miss a show. And for more, visit OilersNation.com.